Slash and Burn is a podcast about fanfiction. It is filled with loud swearing and explicit sexual description. It is not for children, nor the weak of stomach, nor will. Although we attribute to authors as best we can, we have no legal rights to the written works we discuss, nor the characters and universes upon which they are based. We also firmly believe that as long as what you're doing isn't hurting anyone else, whatever you do to get your jollies is all well and good. Join us and have some laughs over the world of fanfic. And seriously, this shit is filthy. You've been warned. Welcome to the magical realm. Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode number 4 of Slash and Burn. My name's Steve.
And I'm Kera.
And we're here to talk about slash fiction, fan fiction, all the things that are in between. And for episode 4, we decided to go with the XFiles, and we decided to go with the XFiles before the incredibly timely announcement that they were making more XFiles.
That's true. This was just very convenient timing for us.
But it's in the zeitgeist now, so we're going to zeitgeist its ass off.
Yeah.
I assume that mostly everybody knows what the X-Files was, but just in case, you're like 17 or whatever, and you were a zygote at the time that the X-Files was actually on television, imagine Fringe, but with shittier special effects.
Oh, that's a really good description.
And a less coherent storyline. But no, it was about yeah.
Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah, totally. So the X-Files is about these two FBI agents by the names of Fox Mulder and Dana Scully, who investigated all of the weird, creepy files that the FBI came across and no one else wanted to mess with. Project Blue Book stuff. Alien abductions, cattle mutilations, weird shape-shifting guys, werewolves. I think there was a werewolf episode. Wasn't there a weird, time-shifted werewolf episode where it was in black and white or something like that?
I remember there was a black and white one on the Titanic, wasn't there? Or was that not black and white?
I remember werewolves, not Titanic. But
my favorite episode was in black and white.
The one where they danced at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I know it. So, one of the reasons that we thought that this would be a great idea is that, now when I watched the X-Files, I watched it when it was actually on TV, when I was like a preteen into a teenager. And I was mainly into it because I was a big conspiracy theory fan and I liked paranormal stuff and, the government is out to get you and they're hiding everything and all that kind of stuff. Whereas Kera mainly watched because she wanted Mulder and Scully to fuck.
That's totally true. I absolutely did.
So that's right in the wheelhouse of where a lot of this fan fiction is probably going to fall. But there was, one of the things about the show is that there was this constant, almost overflowing sexual tension between the two of them,
which is like my favorite thing in the world. But
the creators would never actually let them get together, unlike in Fringe, which, spoiler alert for season 2 of Fringe, they got together way too fucking early.
Agreed. I wanted it so bad and then it was over.
Same thing with, spoiler for New Girl, where they got together way too fucking early and then they had to break them anyway. But on the actual show, the X-Files proper, they never actually got together. It was always near misses and almost kisses and all that kind of shit.
The stuff fangirl dreams are made of.
Exactly. So the fan fiction world of the X-Files would be the place where those people could go to play out all of their most heinous fantasies.
Which, surprisingly enough, are not that heinous.
Yeah, this was, in our research for this one, we didn't find quite as much, gross or real. Well, I shouldn't say really, because I did find something that was really out there, but... I'm
really excited, because I feel like I failed this one.
But it's not as filthy and pungent depraved as the other episodes that we've done so far. So I think we're going to start off with Kera on this one because she has one more than me to go over.
That's true, I do. And so this one is called Crossing X's by Mulder. I found it on Archive of Our Own. And it is a crossover between Xena, Warrior Princess, and the X-Files.
Very clever.
Right? I know. I didn't realize it at first. But
Xena spelled with a Z. If you don't know what the X-Files is, then you probably don't know what Xena, Warrior Princess is either.
You should probably just get off the internet and go watch some old television if that's the case.
Television used to be... If you are 16, you grew up in an age where television was really good. Television used to be really bad. Even recently, I and my wife both started rewatching early X-Files, and man, the acting is like abysmal. It's so bad. I'm surprised it stayed on for as long as it did, but then
what
again,
did it have to compare
exactly,
to?
everything was shitty back then. But anyway, you live in a golden age, and don't waste it. Continue.
Anyway, so, in this story, Mulder is given a computer disk on which there is just one icon, and it says X, and then above it is a smaller WP. And they're like, what is this? And so Scully walks in and asks what the heck's going on with this really boring screen he's looking at, and apparently anybody who has clicked on this icon before there's been 2 people, and when they opened the file, they disappeared. He says here, one came back and reported being in ancient Greece with the Amazons. He shrugged. The other one? Who knows? Scully rolled her eyes. Yeah, right. Aren't the Amazons just a myth? There's never been any real proof that they ever really existed. Now, this is where I first took issue with the story, which is, let's say, 5 sentences into it. He tells her that someone has been zipped back in time by a computer file, and her biggest issue with it is that Amazons have never been proven to exist. So,
I mean, that kind of plays right into their dynamic, though, right? Like, that's another thing that we should mention, is that Mulder believes any fucking stupid thing you tell him, whereas Scully is the skeptic.
Right, but wouldn't she be skeptical of the time travel aspect of this story?
But that doesn't throw me, it really doesn't throw me off.
It really super threw me. Like, I was like, seriously?
Because I could see, as someone who's very nitpicky myself, I could see myself doing the exact same kind of thing.
You know, I could see you also
saying see? That. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It doesn't throw me off at all.
Okay, but anyway, so he walks out of the room and she clicks on the icon and it ends
Wait, she does?
Yes, she does. I know. And she ends up getting switched in time with Gabrielle, which I assume is Xena's...
That was her cute friend, yep.
Cute companion.
Yep.
So she ends up back in time... And Gabrielle ends up in Mulder's living room. I'm sorry, his den.
That's cute, too. Because Mulder's first name is Fox, you see. I didn't mention that earlier.
I think probably this...
They weren't planning that?
I think you're getting more out of this than you ought to. But so, the story then goes back and forth from timelines, and... Gabrielle attacks Mulder with a blunt stick, apparently. Scully...
Wait, so, I'm sorry, maybe I missed something. Mulder gets taken back too? I thought...
he is here in regular time.
Oh, they switched. Okay,
they
never mind.
Places.
I follow.
Xena attacks Scully, and, there's a whole lot of misunderstanding. Everybody's very upset.
How is Mulder, I guess, a little bit more, but Scully doesn't exactly see her as the hand-to-hand fighting, type. Like, does she avail herself well during the scuffle? Or
no, not really. She, an athletic woman scantily clad in leather and armor gear, catapulted seemingly out of nowhere and knocked Dana down from behind. She rolled her over and pinned her down at the waist. 2 fingers leapt at Dana's neck, causing her to gasp desperately for air. Her lungs nearly collapsed in an effort to suck in oxygen.
Hot.
So she, immediately, has her down.
Okay. I mean, Xena is a warrior princess.
Right, I know.
Skeptical scientist doesn't really have much of a chance in a fist fight.
No, not really. But so, she's all, where's Gabrielle? And Gabrielle is all, where's Xena? And he's like, you're...
Oh, so it's not even a body swap. Like, they physically transposed.
Changed time zones.
Okay, see, I figured that, Dana went into Gabrielle and vice versa.
No.
Okay.
They're definitely themselves. They're just in the wrong place. And so, for some reason, Xena decides that they should travel... But not until she, almost kills them both by throwing Scully's gun at a tree, and of course it goes off, and,
That's how that works.
Yeah. It's a gun. Look. Dana withdrew the gun to show Xena. A tiny metal object comes out of this tubular thing at lightning speed and lodges itself into its target. So, Xena
Dana would never say lightning speed. Now that takes me out of it way more than the thing where she took umbrage with the Amazons over top of the time travel aspect.
Xena compares it to a slingshot, and Scully's like, yeah, sure, whatever, idiot. She's confounded by the name Scully. There's just, a whole lot of misunderstanding of technology and names and whatnot. But so, Xena decides that they should travel away for some reason. But then Scully is like, well, we didn't get there yet. The Mulder Gabrielle parts are not really that. They're just like, I'm dumb too. Like, it's just like the weirdest thing.
They don't get down to no boning or nothing?
No, they don't. No. In fact, so they're traveling. Scully and Xena are traveling through the woods. Scully's taking notes. Xena thinks that she's a bard or a minstrel of some sort because she's writing. I don't know. I didn't write this thing. And so they go to sleep, and Xena's like, we have to sleep here. And Scully's like, well, where's my blanket? And she's like, oh, we share a blanket. So, yeah. So Scully wakes up in the middle of the night to Xena, like, all, like, you know, making out with her and stuff, even though she's asleep. Because we have a dream sequence here where Xena is dreaming about Gabrielle.
Oh, okay.
But, so she, like, then wakes up and everybody's really embarrassed.
Also, if you don't know Xena, there were a lot of homophobic, lesbianic undertones.
Homophobic?
Homoerotic. Sorry. I was talking about homophobes last night, and it's poisoned my brain. Between Gabrielle and Xena.
This is the only, like, sexy part, is the dream. Xena beamed and it took all of her enormous self-control not to drop Gabrielle right there and then in the shallow waters and bury her face between the girl's legs. So they walk back to the blanket. Finally, they reach the blanket and she laid her lover down. Again, this is all a dream. Her mouth smothered Gabrielle's, and one strong thigh spread her legs. Gabrielle slid her mound against Xena's thigh. It was slick and sticky from an equal mixture of her own juices and the water. So, like, she's, you know, dreaming this and rubbing all up on Scully, and Scully's like, wait, I think I might not be who you want, and they, like, roll apart, and it's all awkward, and Scully's like, no, but I was flattered. But that's the further that goes. Nothing ever gets happening between
Now, was this a multi-part where there was maybe going to be expounded upon further?
No, it's pretty short. Then the next day, after they wake up, Scully's like, you know, I just feel like maybe we have to go back to that tree that we never mentioned before because I think that that's the dimensional portal. And Xena's like, sure, okay, whatever. And so they travel back, and then they switch places back, and that's pretty much the end. Like, it's not very exciting.
So nothing happens between Gabrielle and Mulder at all?
No. Like, I mean, they fight and, like I said, are dumb at each other.
But no sex stuff whatsoever.
No,
Huh.
Well, she's, you know, dedicated, I guess, to Xena. God. Can't anybody
all right. I mean, this is your world, not mine.
But, like I said, they basically just sit there and be dumb at each other, and that's pretty much the extent. And then they get transposed back, and then, you know, Xena and Gabrielle make out some, and then that's the end of the story.
Our producer can cut this if he feels like it, but your story made me think about one of my favorite Simpsons moments ever, which is where Lucy Lawless is at the comic book shop, and she's doing an appearance because she's Xena. She's the actress that plays Xena, and all the nerds keep asking her questions, and she goes, yeah, whenever you see something like that doesn't make sense, the answer is a wizard did it. And so that's funny enough. But then later in the episode, some shit goes down, and she picks up Bart and Lisa, and she starts flying away with them just through the air or whatever. And Lisa or Bart, I can't remember which one, goes, wait a minute, Xena can't fly. And she looks at them like they're the dumbest person in the world and goes, I told you, I'm not Xena, I'm Lucy Lawless. And that's, I love that bit forever and ever and ever.
When you said that about the comic book store, for some reason it made me remember that there was a part here that I forgot that I wanted to mention.
Oh.
Xena tells Scully that she's not going to be able to ride a horse in those clothes. So
Pantsuit?
Yeah, I know.
It's not like Scully wore Impractical Clothing.
Right, it's not like she was wearing like a skin-tight like dress or something. Like, I don't know. I thought that was weird too. But before Dana could move to prevent it, Xena withdrew her sword and quick as lightning cut off the fabric she deemed unnecessary.
Quick as lightning again.
From Dana's business suit, she was left with a sleeveless button-down midriff shirt and short shorts. That is much more practical.
Way more.
I don't know. That was interesting.
It's certainly a lot sexier.
Is it? I like a business suit. But, okay, so that is the end. I went a little out over there, but... I missed that part.
No, that's fine. My first one is called Get, parenthetical, the Bile, end parenthetical, off, by Ice-T in the Bag on an archive of our own. So, Eugene Victor Toombs was my favorite X-Files villain. He was this immortal creature that looked like a human, but he built himself a nest out of just like creepy, gross stuff like newspaper and like things that he collected from his victims. He's also a serial killer
terrifying.
because he ate their livers to stay alive, and he secreted like this yellow bile that he used to make his nest and everything. And he could also contort his body into like any kind of shape, so he could like get underneath a door or like through a very small air vent or whatever, and that's how he like got to
creepy, yeah.
That's how he got to his victims and stuff, right? So I love Toombs. Not only did I love both of the Toombs episodes, he was one of the few Monster of the Week, quote unquote, monsters that came back for a second episode, but there was also an X-Files novel that was based entirely upon him that I had. And so my first thought when I went looking for stuff was, oh my god, Toombs would be great for this shit, because he can bend himself into all kinds of weird spaces and stuff. There's like none of it. There's like no Toombs...
I'm telling you,
sex stuff.
Whenever you see a character who seems specifically designed for gross sex stuff, there will be no gross sex stuff about that character.
I thought I found one. I thought that my wife found one for me, and at one point it might have been turning into something like that. It said it was Mulder X OC X Toombs. I know, right? So I got real excited, but there was only a prologue in one chapter, and there was nothing in fucking either one of them, so I had to skip it over. So the closest I got was this one, and I think this plays, well, in it, Scully helps Mulder get clean after an encounter with Toombs, who has covered him in his gross yellow bile stuff. So Mulder gets soaked in this Toombs goo, which is like the bile of other people's livers that he's consumed to stay alive forever. Yeah, I know. It's great. It's great. But then they go back to Mulder's apartment. Mulder and Scully do. And, they're being partners and having good-natured banter back and forth about how he'll never be clean again and all this. And he takes all his clothes off, or most of his clothes off, and throws them in a trash bag and is like, I'm going to burn these or whatever. And then he goes and gets in the shower, and she's just chilling on the couch reading a magazine. But then he opens the door and he asks her to come in because there's this one spot on his back that he can't possibly reach because his arms are so sore because he got the shit kicked out of him by Toombs. And so he asks Scully to get it for him. And so she reluctantly comes into the bathroom. She's like facing away and stuff and like just like reaching for things as he's like handing them to her and stuff. But then she like reaches into the shower and she's still not looking at him, but she's trying to find the spot and everything.
That seems like it would probably lead to more dangerous.
I know, don't you think? Yeah. You'd think she would be smarter than that.
I'm groping at you while you're naked.
Do doctors learn how to bathe people? He asks. He actually sounds serious. She laughs and runs her hand down his back to the swell of his ass, stopping just above it. Her fingers jump against his skin as if they're begging her to keep going. Are you asking if we take a course in sponge bathing? No, it's fairly elemental, which I'm pretty sure is supposed to be elementary.
No, it's elemental.
It's elemental. Fire, water, air, earth.
Right.
And heart. Can't forget heart. Too bad. I'd volunteer for that class, he mumbles with a sigh. They're quiet for pregnant moments. She keeps running her hand over his slick back, then lets the other one join. He's blocking most of the water, but her sleeves are getting wet anyway. She's going to have to change into one of his t-shirts to go home. The idea sets off a small twinge in her abdomen. That's a place, I guess. She pushes both hands over his back, all the way up to his shoulders, all the way down to his hips. He hums a little, lowering his chin to his chest. And I know they meant like, but I couldn't picture like,
Let me just interject here for a second. In a lot of the Sherlock fan fiction I've read, I think it's kind of like a fan canon sort of thing that John is constantly humming about things, and like every single time I'm picturing him like humming a jaunty tune, and I know that's not what's supposed to be happening, but I can't stop anyway. So yeah, that happens surprisingly often.
She pauses, her hands lingering on his sides. Do you think you're good? Now, I've read this multiple times, and I can't figure out if she's trying to imply good at sex, or if she meant, are you okay after that mutant creature kicked the shit out of you?
I think it's probably that one.
See, that's what I would have thought, except they're silent again. And she starts having thoughts she knows she shouldn't be having. The kind of thoughts a woman has late at night when she's alone and lonely and thinking about her partner and how alone and lonely he is as well. She jumps a little when she feels his hand on her wrist. He doesn't turn around. Come in, he says, his voice nearly a whisper. Come in here with me. So shower sex, right?
Yeah.
So, like, this is what I imagine to be the ideal of, like, like, fangirl...
Basically, yeah.
Fan fiction is, right?
This
Where
is
there's
like, yeah.
these two characters have all the sexual tension throughout the entire run of the series, but the creators never actually let them get together. So you're like, fine, fuck it! And you decide that you're going to go write them getting together in a shower, right? Mm-hmm. So
I'm into it.
And so you create a semi-plausible scenario for them to get into, and then they have pretty vanilla sex because, you know that Scully wouldn't be into, like, any weird shit.
How do you know that?
Her whole demeanor, her everything about her. She's very no nonsense. She's very, I never, as hot as I always thought Scully was, and as much as every adolescent boy, totally wanted that shit. Looking back on it now, I can't imagine she would be anything more than just, like, straightforward meat and potatoes.
I think that's really, I don't know, I think I'm offended.
But she's so, I'm not going to say stuck up, but she's very stilted and stodgy and...
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she doesn't like to, do it.
I'm not saying she wouldn't have sex. I'm just saying it's not going to be, like, crazy kinky stuff, probably, right?
I mean, I don't know.
It's the way I thought about it.
I see where you're coming from, but I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't make snap judgments like that on a person's sexuality. Even though that's the entire point of this entire podcast.
So she climbs into the shower with him, and her blouse gets completely soaked, and her bra gets completely soaked, and all that kind of stuff.
Her shirt white?
Her shirt is white, and it even mentions how what are the odds she'd be wearing a white shirt in this situation?
What color's her bra?
I don't know that it mentions it. If it did, I didn't write it down.
Probably skin tone then.
Yeah, he breathes. She feels him move, and his palm grazes her arm. She's wrapped around him, so he can't reach any spot where she's aching to be touched, but she can reach him. She circles his hard cock with her fingers, and he sucks in a quick breath. She squeezes him firmly and plants tiny kisses against her new favorite spot on his back, which means that spot where that gross fucking shit was until like 20 seconds ago. That is disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
That is pretty gross.
She licks it as she slides her hand up his length, then back down. God, Mulder, she whispers, pressing her cheek against him. Please. She can barely hear him over the hissing of the showerhead. She holds him tighter, pulls slowly and firmly on him, long strokes getting shorter. His hips start to roll against her hand, and she presses her stomach into his ass. Wedging her body against him, wanting to feel every inch of him that she can. She moves with him, her strokes quickening, and there's warmth spreading inside her abdomen, again,
She should see a doctor.
At the idea she may actually get him off this way, pressed together in the steam, showers streaming down their bodies.
Showers streaming down their bodies?
Water streaming down their bodies. Apologies. She digs her fingernails into his hip and he groans. She flattens her palm against the head of his cock, circling, then strokes him again, over and over. His hand is gripping her arm and she can feel each of his fingers tensing against the muscle. Scully! He growls through gritted teeth, his body tensing. It's okay, she breathes, stroking him faster. It's okay. It's okay. She hears him gasp and his body shudders. He groans and she clings to him, her body throbbing, her head spinning. She squeezes him hard, and with 3 more strokes he cries out, bucking his hips into her hand as he comes. Her lips part as she gasps with him, leaning into him, their bodies slipping against each other. The only sounds are their breathing and the now lukewarm water hitting their skin, tapping against it like a drumbeat, like her heart fluttering in her chest. She slips her hands up and slides her arms around his waist as he stands up straight with deep, shaking breath. Hi, he says, putting his hands around his back to run his fingers up her sides. She shivers and kisses his back. Hi, she says. Do you feel adequately clean now? He laughs softly and looks over his shoulder. She looks up and their eyes meet. More than adequately clean. Well, you have to admit, you went above and beyond partnerly duties, or doctorly ones. I doubt they teach you that in sponge bath class.
Oh my god. This is some amazing sexy talk.
So even with all that, even though me feeling like that was the perfect setup for the whole, the whole fandom there, it was still only a shower handy. They didn't, didn't get it on any further than that, which kind of surprised me.
That was really anticlimactic, I thought.
The writing, though, not completely abysmal. I think it's a little bit out of character, and maybe this is a person who's never actually had sex, because there was some weird... The constant abdomen thing going on was...
I think I understand what they're trying to say, but they need to aim a little lower. Like,
maybe they were afraid to say vagina. They only said cock. I don't think they ever mentioned any sort of female genitalia.
Well, she was still fully clothed, wasn't she?
Yeah, I guess so.
I was
That's a good point.
by her
so maybe they're
dropping,
very puritanical.
Like, was she also supposed to be getting any sort of pleasure, like, physically from it?
I think she was just getting off on the thought of getting him off.
All right.
Although not fully off, or if she did, they didn't do a very good job of describing it. So, yeah, that ended up being even more vanilla than I was expecting, hence lending credence to my my Vanilla Scully theory. But I'll leave the rest of my other two options are not Mulder Scully things. So if you have any more of them, I'll leave them up to you.
I have solely Mulder Scully things. Well, not really, because the next two that I have here that I'm going to share with you aren't really sexy at all. They're just stories. And so I thought that would be something interesting to do, because I don't usually do that.
Sure.
Interesting. By which I mean really boring. The next one I think that I'm going to go with is called Broken Glass by Teaspoon. Just a T, not like, teaspoons.
Like iced tea.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is about Scully, and she falls asleep during a debriefing or something. I don't know, it's like explained in like 3 sentences. And has a dream in which she is in 1944 in Germany. I
don't recall anything of historical significance happening in Germany at that period of time, do you?
No. I mean, it's a pretty boring story. Like, they all just live happily, nobody's harassed or anything. But no, that's not how it goes down at all. So she, wakes up in a room with a printing press, and Nazis are bursting in on her and her sister. They're printing some sort of, subversive newspaper or something to get the word out about what's happening. And so the Nazis shoot her sister.
Because the truth is out there.
Right, yeah, I guess it is. So, within, 3 seconds of her waking up in this new setting, and, she is the person that she's dreaming she is. She's not like, where am I? What's happening? It's as though this has been going on the whole time. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, the Nazis just, shoot her sister. Scully felt her world spin to a stop. Melissa was dead. Her emotional pain was so great that it didn't register, until she felt a spark of anger inside, which quickly enveloped her whole entire being, until she was a fiery, flaming mass of seething hatred. Even her piercing red hair bristled with electricity. Slowly, she became conscious of the Nazis still holding her, waiting till their captain gave the orders that she was next. She set her jaw. Yanking away, she threw the dark-haired one on the floor with her strength, and even as he fell, she pulled back into the second Nazi, catching him in the stomach, winding him as the point of her elbow dug into his flesh. Free of the pair, she walked up to the blonde-haired captain and grabbed his collar, twisting it mercilessly. Even the diminutive size of her petite body threatened to explode with rage.
So
what does that sentence even mean?
This is the complete opposite of the previous one that you read, where she was completely ineffective.
Tough.
Yeah, she's like
I don't know
fucking
what
ninja.
1944 Germany Scully looks like, though. I mean,
That's
maybe
true.
She's but it says I quit.
Diminutive.
Thank you. Size of her petite body threatened to explode with rage. So I can only imagine that she looks pretty much the same.
It sounds like more than a threat at that point if she's already beaten the shit out of 2 Nazis, right?
I agree. So, she goes over and, she is threatening the captain, and he's like, no one's ever talked to me like this before. You're so different, special. Because nobody stands up to a Nazi. So she's trying to yell at him, but she never finished. Taking advantage of her pursed lips, the captain moved his gun and pressed her lips against his, Frenching her hard. Something about that wording. I'm gonna French you so hard.
Frenching her hard.
I don't know. That really
No, that's beautiful.
It made me smile. So she's like, oh, gross. But then another Nazi comes up behind her and knocks her on the head, and she's unconscious. So she wakes up, and she is in a bedroom, and the other Nazi comes in, and, you know, she's got a gun from somewhere. And so she's all like, yeah, Nazi, I'm going to be sexy all at you. And he's like, ooh, I'm so into that. And then she, like, shoots him for... She avenges her sister, and then she runs away. And then the next scene, she's working as a waitress in a bar in 1944 Germany.
Huh.
And some Nazi comes in, and she has to serve him, but it's not the same Nazi. And this Nazi...
Clearly, there was more than one.
Right, yeah, there were a lot of them, apparently. But so he, like, orders a drink from her, and she's, like, trying to ignore him, but he's, like, kind of, like, flirty with her. And then she's like, oh, you know, do you like destroying families and lives? And he's like, I didn't choose this. I was forced into Nazism. Apparently his father was a rebel against the Nazis, but when they found out, instead of killing him, they decided that he would be useful. And so now he has to be a Nazi? Or they'll kill him? I don't know. Again, this is all really flimsy.
The old sympathetic Nazi angle. We've all seen it a million times.
So, they're kind of like flirty together, and he says that he'll walk her home, and she's like, no, that's okay. But then she's afraid that more Nazis are going to find her and take her away for some unknown reason. And so she says,
not being a Nazi.
So she says, I think I'll take you up on that offer of walking me home. Very well then. How far away do you live from here? Good question. For the past 2 days, she had been sleeping on the filthy, roach-infested floor of the bar. You know what? Maybe I won't take you up on that offer. I'm fine. Why would you accept the offer to be walked home when home is, like, lay down? Like, what did she... this whole story was really...
Because she thinks he's going to want stuff, Nazi stuff.
But, so she eventually ends up going back to his apartment, but there's, like, Nazis there waiting for him, and Steve really likes this new beer that he just opened, or he hates it. I can't tell.
Holy shit. Plug for Wollaver's Fine Organic Ales Oatmeal Stout. Jesus Christ, that thing is tasty. Anyway, continue.
They get back to his apartment, and there's Nazi police waiting there for him, and they're both arrested, and then she gets shot, and as she's dying, she wakes up in real time, and they're like, hey, you're fine, and she's like, no, I'm dying out here, and they're like, no, you're really not, and then she's like, oh, I guess it was a dream, and that's the end. Like, again...
That's pretty anticlimactic.
Tell me about it! Like, all these stories that I found, like I said, they weren't any good. Like, they're not... I mean, of course they're bad.
You're really making people want to tune into the rest of the show.
But they're not bad enough. Like, I don't know. I was really disappointed.
I mean, for time-traveling dream Nazis, I would have expected a little bit more than that.
Right?
And again, there's no sexual stuff except that he Frenched her real hard, right?
Frenched her real hard. Yeah, but no, that's it. Like, he tried to. I'm assuming that that's why she was in a bedroom and he came in, because I'm assuming a rape was going to happen, but luckily she had that gun from places. So, yeah, that was my second story.
Huh.
I apologize.
That was a bad precedent to set. So, a thing I learned today is that mkslash.tripod.com is a real website. And that's where I got this story from.
MK/?
So that's what I wanted to ask you. Can you guess what MK/ is off the top of your head?
No.
Okay. MK is the abbreviation for Mulder Krycek.
Oh.
You remember
Okay.
Krycek?
Yeah.
For a brief period in season 2, they had to give Mulder a partner who wasn't Scully, and that was this Russian-born guy named Krycek. And then it turned out that he was actually a bad guy. Oh no, who could have guessed?
A Russian?
I know, a Russian bad guy on the 90s on American television. But then as the series went on, his allegiances shifted a lot, and he went from being a bad guy to a good guy to a who-knows guy to a bad guy to a good guy on a week-to-week basis. First he was working with the cigarette-smoking man, and then he was working against the cigarette-smoking man, and then he was working with Mulder, and then he was working against Mulder, and then he was working with cigarette-smoking man and Mulder, and then he was working against both of them. And I believe in the series finale, even though he's dead, his ghost helps Mulder out at that point.
Wow, really?
But, so here's an entire site, a tripod site, but a site nonetheless, dedicated to just Mulder Krycek / fiction. So I don't remember Mulder and Krycek having a like romantic tension between them. Do you, however? I thought maybe I just glossed over it in my 11-year-old head.
I mean, I don't... Like,
they had a complicated relationship because, again, they were always like on the same team and then not on the same team.
I was so focused on, you know, the Mulder Scully accent.
I don't even know what word you're trying to say.
I don't either.
Accent?
No,
because that's not, I don't think that was
it. But I was so aspect.
Okay.
Of it that I don't think that I even really would have noticed, even if they were, like, actually making out. Well, okay, I probably would have noticed that. But so no, I don't know. But I think I remember thinking he was attractive.
He was a pretty attractive guy, as most of the evil Russians on 90s American television were. So the story that I picked here was called The Calm Before the Storm by the author Imp on mkslash.tripod.com. And I'm going to get to some quotes in a minute, but they're going to be pretty quick because the thing that really struck me about this one was how un-X-Files-y it was. Like, it's just two guys having a lot of, like, really loving, caring sex.
Aww.
Which is fine.
That's nice.
But you could have renamed Mulder and Alex with Greg and Don, and, like, pretty much everything would have been exactly the same. Like, there's nothing about aliens. There's nothing about supernatural shit. There's nothing about... There's a very small bit where they talk about at one point one abandoned the other one in, like, an alleyway or something because some shit had gone down. But that was, like, literally the only mention of anything canonical in the whole story. It's just two guys having sex. You were raising your hand like you wanted to say something.
I was, but I'll let you go with your story first. Maybe I won't. When I was talking to our producer about this topic, and he seemed surprised that none of the stories that I was using had anything to do with any X-Files. And I said that a lot of times they do. I just don't bother with any of that stuff because it's boring. And if I wanted that, I would watch the show. And so I thought that was something interesting. He said that he thought it would make it more interesting. And I said, no, you don't understand. Like, usually it's like, here's the X-File that we're on. Okay, it's over. Now we're back at a hotel and we're doing it. Like, it's not like it's not involved in the story. Like,
right, but it should be, shouldn't it? Isn't that the whole thing? Like,
no. Because at heart, like, you don't really care about the plot of the show. Like, see, that's the great thing about fanfiction, in my opinion, is instead of having to, like, read through a whole bunch of story to get a feel for characters and then have them get together. Like, you've already watched getting a feel for the characters. You just want to see them get together. Like, if you want to see plot and character development, you can see it on the show. But you've already got all that existing. You can just write the smut part. Do you understand what I mean? Like, there's no need for it. If you want to read a whole story about some people and how they learn and grow, then go read a regular book.
I follow what you're saying, but in a situation like this where they literally could just be not Mulder and Krychek, like, I don't see the point of it being X-Files fan fiction.
Because you like the established
except
characters.
That's what you're putting in your head when you're reading about
it.
But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I can see where you're coming with it, but I disagree on a basic level.
Because you don't have to build your characters. They already exist for you. You just need to put them in the situation you want them to be in. Also, most of the time, stories that have, like, a case in them, they're usually not very good. Like, again, I use this as a reference from a lot of the Sherlock fan fiction I've read. They're like, oh, it's a case fic. But then, like, you get into it and you're like, this is, like, the dumbest, most nonsensical
all they'd have to do is rip a case out of an actual Sherlock Holmes mystery.
Most people don't.
Well, then those people are bad.
Today's episode is not about Sherlock fan fiction, so I'm just
We'll get there eventually, I assure you. That might be a 4 or 5-parter.
Man.
By the time we get to it. It's a calm climax. Not earth-shaking, not soul-shattering, just warm and engulfing. Loving. It's a loving climax, made sweeter by the familiarity of his body, his aroma, his taste. I know this man, and I love him, and nothing has ever been better than this feels. This is written from Mulder's point of view, by the way. I know, right? It's pretty sweet.
Really nice.
After the pleasure ebbs away, my fatigue returns. A wave of lassitude spreads through me, luring me down into delicious sleep. But Alex nudges me sharply. Move, he says firmly. I am perfectly happy right where I am, nuzzling his spent genitalia, surrounded by the scent of his sex. The last thing I want to do is move, and I am vaguely hurt that he would suggest it. Move, Alex insists. You always kick me in the head, Mulder. The scent of his sex? I think in all of my days, I've only ever heard that referred to in terms of female genitalia, not male. Am I...
You haven't read nearly enough.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'd always heard that more as a euphemism for a vagina. Sweaty, sticky, still crying slow, sweet tears. I settle against him and fall asleep again.
Wait, he's crying?
Yeah, this is after a second encounter. Right? There's a big jump. And then there's a page break. And then it goes straight to... I awaken to the feel of our dried secretions caked against my stomach and chest. Less romantic now than itchy. Some more stuff happens. And then they get into a conversation. A little more of the tension eases away from him. We can shower together, he offers, even though he's obviously freshly cleansed. No, comes out of my mouth involuntarily. No, and bury my face in his neck as I realize why in a hot flush of embarrassment. I don't want to wash you off of me, I whisper into his ear, feeling unaccountably ashamed of this latest perversion. Ew. Like...
Okay, now, time out, though, because, okay, gross. But this, I don't feel Mulder at all.
I know. See, that's what I'm talking about. This could just be anybody.
Yes. Okay, I'll agree with you there. This isn't just a case of no plot related to X-Files. This is a case of this guy is not Mulder. I'm just going to call him that, in my opinion.
Right, and I kind of felt the same way with it as well.
I just don't picture him as like the weeping, like...
Yeah, no, he's not.
Come on me kind of guy.
He's very stoic.
Yeah.
Need your come on me kind of guy. I wish that would fit into a Twitter handle, but I don't think that it will. But so that was all that I got out of that one, really. I was just surprised at how un-X-Files-y the whole thing felt.
Yeah, no, that was really out of character. Yeah. Does that mean it's my turn again?
It does.
Okay. For this one, I'm going to go with... we're about to get kind of serious here.
My god.
I know. This is a suicide fic. Now, I just want to say ahead of time, before I get into it, I don't think suicide is funny. I don't think depression is funny. I think if you have, any sort of suicidal thoughts, you should seek help. And, the proper places are out there for you to find that help. But
yeah, no one's going to blame you if somebody kills themselves.
This story was so ridiculous and out of character that I kind of just want to read the whole thing start to finish aloud, but I won't. I'll spare you. It's only 2,000 words, but still. So the basic plot line is that Scully comes in one day and she has a boyfriend and she announces that they're going to get married, and Mulder just decides that he doesn't want to be alive anymore because she's going to get married and move away to England with this dude, and he just can't bear the thought. So, it's extremely over the top. Now, I saw her today. Like every day, only this was different. She was with him. The man that in 2 days shall shatter my heart with. Him and 2 words. Through everything that has come close to killing me, everything that I've looked in the face, that's what's going to kill me, unless I'm already dead. So here I am, alone, here with my broken heart. Doctors mend broken bones, but who fixes broken hearts? No one is that brilliant. So,
So this is written by a 13-year-old.
There's... So,
I don't know that you mentioned the author and title.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just said about that we should be better about that. When I said we, I meant me. This one is called Shards, and it's by Magdalena, and it's on fanfiction.net. And it's rated M, even though it's really not that M. I guess it's rated M for suicide.
For killing yourself? Yeah.
So he's standing here, thinking about how he's going to kill himself. The gun is cold in my sweaty hands, sending a chill throughout my body. I lift it to my head. I'm pausing for commas, because there are a lot of them. Guns really don't kill people. Bombs don't kill people. Not even grenades kill people. People kill people.
Jesus.
I'm going to kill myself. So, there's a lot of back and forth in time of this story, even though it doesn't really matter. Basically, like, the main part of the story is him talking right now when he's going to kill himself, and then it's flashing back to things that are making him want to kill himself. So we see her 2 weeks ago announcing that they are engaged, but they're getting married tomorrow. So I'm not quite sure that this person understands wedding planning. Because that's physically impossible.
I mean, it could have been a courthouse wedding, I suppose.
I guess, but I don't know.
If they're really that mad for each other.
I suppose. But, so then 1 week ago, she's getting transferred to England.
I don't think the FBI does that.
Because that's where he lives. She had told me and sugarcoated Brent's constant absence. He was in England taking care of business while she was at home getting ready for a wedding that was to take place in less than a week. See, it sounds like a real wedding.
Yeah, it really does. So much like the first story was someone who never had sex, this is someone who's never gotten married.
Right, yeah. Yeah. So 3 days before the wedding, he's laying on the sofa and he is drinking himself into oblivion. I'm lying on the couch. Scully invited me to her wedding, but I told her that I couldn't come. I knew I hurt her when I said that, but she had hurt me. No, she had killed me. There was no way I would then go and watch her happily walk down the aisle and marry someone else. People are supposed to cry at weddings out of joy. I would be crying tears of betrayal and pain. So I decided to drink. Drink and drink. Drink the pain away. Feel nothing. I don't know for how long I was out, but when I came to, I was on the floor of a bar, so he started on the couch. A puddle of something foul-smelling next to me. My own throw-up.
Throw-up!
Thank you for finding that as funny as I did.
Mulder would never call it throw-up.
It would all end tomorrow night, 2 days before the wedding, 2 days before my fate. If I die first, I won't face that pain. So he's going to kill himself. 2 days before the wedding, we get an excerpt of the phone message that he leaves. Hi, Scully. Dana, I'm calling you to tell you that this is the last time you'll hear from me. I wanted you to know that I love you. I always have. I've just been too damn blind to see it. I love you so much, and Brent is a nice guy. I hope you're happy with him. And that's the end of that's a suicide note. But she doesn't answer the phone, so it gets left on the voicemail. Or, I'm sorry, the answering machine.
This is apparently also written at the same time the X-Files was on television.
Because Brent comes home and sees the answering machine blinking and plays the message. And, so he hears this message on the machine. I stopped. We're in Brent's point of view now. Why was Mulder acting like the world was ending? I knew it was Mulder. He had a distinctive voice. But this whole I'll never see you again thing? Shit, Dana! I called out to her, realizing what Mulder had done. Suicide.
Shit, Dana is the alternate universe, Scully.
He wouldn't have. He would have talked to me first. He's probably fine and we'll just go home. I was muttering things, not really paying attention where in Scully's point of view.
Scully now, yeah. It seems to shift very
it does.
quickly and dramatically.
Dana, we have to check on him. You think I don't know that? I snapped at him. From the look in his eyes, I knew that had shocked and even hurt him. I was hurting everyone around me. Like a disease. So they walk into Mulder's apartment. I pushed Brent out of the way and saw it. Blood on the carpet and on the body. Mulder's body. Dead. I like that this author really walks you through every step, just in case you weren't sure.
There's no fucking questioning exactly where he's trying to lead you.
So now she's, overcome. She refuses to believe that this is real. No, I choked back another sob, not letting another escape. He's not gone. I motioned for him to leave, talking to Brent, obviously not the dead body. Leave me alone. But he gave me a hurt look of pain. Pain in my pushing him away like this. Pain I had seen before. Only then it had been in Mulder's eyes. So, now we're 1 day before the wedding. Mulder's funeral was the same day as my wedding.
That seems like really poor planning.
That's what made me the most pissed off of all. That's cold, man.
That really is. That is super cold. Jesus.
But it's okay, because she's extremely remorseful. She's locked herself in the bathroom. Dana, are you okay? I ignored Brent as I walked over to the sink and started the water. It would end now. This charade that I loved Brent, this play that I didn't feel for Mulder, over. Now. I take the razor to my wrist. The pain goes unfelt. I've felt worse pain. Please, Dana, come out! And here, this is the end. Dana's death scene, and also possibly Linkin Park lyrics.
Oh, wow.
But it's not really. I just think that it would make a really good song. Up my vein, watching it split as a thin line of velvety blood spills, then more. Falling onto the carpet, I don't care. Now the pain is biting into me. I do feel it. End this faster. I ripped the razor up my vein, fast, crying out. It hurt. More than I thought it would. But it will be over soon. Soon. My vision is becoming blurry as I lie down on the small rug. Over any second now. I loved you too, Mulder. And then there's a page break line, and then there's the author's note, which reads, please review. Heavy stuff, huh? I'm just kinda like that. Weird.
I know you mentioned Linkin Park, but actually that was from the remix of Papa Roach's Last Resort.
Oh, you're right!
Wow.
So
that's so suicide fic, is that a thing that happens often?
Not surprised, not that often, but I have seen it. There's a lot of death fic.
And is it usually a duel, like a lovers?
I think this is the first one that I've read. I mean, more might be out there. I don't generally read them because sometimes, like, they're really sad. And
this one was a little too ridiculous to be very sad. Yeah, this one was too ridiculous
to be sad because this was so out of character for both of them that I couldn't even deal with it. But, so yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Wow.
Every single bit of it up until the author's note. Just kind of like that.
That was really something. So, I mean, I said when we started that person was 13. If you had to guess an actual age for that author, what would you...
I'm going to go with 15.
15?
Yeah, because, I mean, there's a lot of punctuation and description in here, even though it's not great. It feels like someone's trying really hard to be deep. So that's why I'm going to go with 15.
All right, I buy it.
Because I feel like 15-year-old me would have tried to be more deep and edgy like that, whereas 13-year-old me would have just been like...
Wow, so that was something. I wasn't really expecting that, I got to say. I didn't see any of that in the stuff that I was looking at. What I did find was this. My last selection is called Deity, parenthesis, Part 1, A New World, end parenthesis, by Sonia Blue, on the site mulderandjeopardy.org. Now, I wanted to talk to you about that URL real quick. So this is a site that talks almost exclusively about Mulder torture.
Oh!
And Mulder torture is one word. Is that a thing that happens a lot?
Is there an exclamation point in there anywhere? Because
not that I saw, but I mostly saw it in tags.
That is something I see a lot in tags, is like one word, like exclamation point character or something like that. Like, it does... Like, not necessarily Mulder torture as a tag that I've seen a lot, but that sort of tagging structure is definitely a thing.
But I mean specifically the torture thing. Like, I pick a character and I'm just going to torture them. That's a running theme kind of thing?
I've definitely seen that, yeah.
Is there a rhyme or reason as to what characters generally get? Because, like, to me, to my mind, I would think more like Scully torture than Mulder torture, but maybe I don't know.
Cool.
I'm just saying. Also, how did they get a .org for that?
That's really the best question.
So, I picked this one. There's actually not a ton of sex in this, but I'm going to read you a lot of it because I loved it.
I love this. I'm really excited.
So, in the year 2000, there was an alien war, and the humans won, but it devastated civilization. And so it's now 400 years in the future, So it's 2402, I believe is the exact year. And Enrique, the slave trader, finds a trashed alien ship with humans trapped inside in suspended animation. Now, there are 6 of them in these suspended animation tubes, and 5 of them are identical, buxom, blonde females. And he thinks, awesome, great, I can get such a pretty penny for these things as sex slaves, right? It's going to be awesome. But the sixth tube holds Fox Mulder. But wait! Mulder isn't just Mulder. He's also a luscious hermaphrodite.
I was gonna
One of the prophesized hermaphrodites.
One of the prophesized hermaphrodites?
They talk about them like they're religious icons, these hermaphrodites. Jackson, the head caravan guard, like all the caravan guards, was a broad-shouldered man, 6'5" foot tall. 6'5" foot tall.
That's really precise measurement.
I know, right? The head guard studied the hermaphrodite as he leaned down and hauled the slender body from the pod. So that's what a hermaphrodite looks like, Jackson thought. He looks just like a man, a very pretty man.
What?
Now, at this point, they haven't referred to him as Mulder at all, but considering it happened on mulderandjeopardy.org, I was pretty certain that it was Mulder was going to be the one that was going on here.
I can't believe that's a .org. I still am just laughing at that one.
Apparently, the necessity to get a .org site is pretty lax these days. Now, the thing that I really enjoyed about this story was how far this author took the world building. Ah, yes, said Sigolf, sounding distracted. Sigolf is he's not the slave trader. I think he's the slave trader's doctor, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ah, yes, said Sigolf, sounding distracted. I guess that would be normal for a hermaphrodite. They are very resilient. So far as we know, they live forever, though they can be killed by violence. The emperor's own consort was assassinated. While Sigolf was absently chatting, he was giving the hermaphrodite a thorough checkup. His hands were kneading the hermaphrodite's stomach, a look of bemused concentration on the healer's face. You know why? Because Mulder was also pregnant.
Yes!
He's a pregnant hermaphrodite.
I was really regretting not having an M-preg in here, but you've got one, or a H-preg.
An H-preg, yeah, I would say it goes with that. So eventually he wakes up, and then the slave trader tells Mulder that it's the year 2402, but Mulder is incredulous that it's the year 2402, even though he remembers being abducted by aliens, and the next thing he knows he's being woken up and being told it's the year 2402, and he's like, bullshit, there's no way that's true, which took me completely out of it, because if you had Fox Mulder abducted by aliens, and then you woke him up later, even if you were just playing on a prank in the dude, and you had him in a storage shed in fucking Albuquerque, and you told him it was 2402, he would be like, oh shit, it's 2402. Like, there's no way that he would not believe that.
Oh man.
Here's a big block of text that was just I couldn't cut any of this.
I love it.
Healer Sigolf, is it true that the hermaphrodites don't shit? Abdul asked. He was one of the. This was one of the speculations that were discussed before Sigolf had arrived at the campfire. The guards were all silenced, curious to see what Sigolf could tell them about the dite, which is what they've. There you go. Sigolf was about to bring another spoonful of the delicious stew to his mouth when Abdul had spoken. My friend, said Jackson. He patted the healer's shoulder, giving him a wry smile. I'm afraid there is no escaping this interrogation. We are all curious. It's true they don't shit, but they do piss, Sigolf said, shrugging his shoulders to the inevitable. Sigolf swallowed the stew and took the flask of liquor he was handed to him by one of the guards, taking a deep swig of it himself. Their bodies reduce anything they consume to a liquid, making shitting unnecessary.
What the heck?
As a result of this design, they have a very high metabolism. They also have a larger kidney. So Mulder, that is the hermaphrodite's name, by the way, will quite easily eat 3 times as much of you or me, and he won't put on any extra weight at all. Sigolf was warming up to the lecture mode. Outwardly, a hermaphrodite has the form of a man, but it is internally where they are very much different from men and women. Everything is rearranged differently inside a dite. Some of their organs are either smaller or larger. Some organs are missing, replaced by organs that a human has never had. They do have a womb like a woman, though, and and it pretty much manages to be in the same space as it is in a woman. How it managed that, I'll never know. Hermaphrodites do have a very similar reproductive organ to women. They're just a little bit more streamlined. but it's in the rectum, as they don't have a vagina like a female.
Oh.
That is primarily for procreation and pleasure, because they don't shit, so their ass is for nothing but fucking, right?
Okay, all right.
What a more perfect creature
I'll say.
could be imagined. Seagull pulled a leering face when he said this, causing some of the guards to chuckle and let some imaginations wild. The imaginations has a apostrophe in it.
Uh-huh.
Nobody really knows how or why they came to be because of certain gifts they have, not just their obvious beauty. They are very valuable and highly regarded. What gifts are those? Asked one of the guard. Psychic gifts. They are witches.
Oh. Wow.
So, I think we now know what's going to be the plot of the new season of the X-Files show.
I hope
We're jumping
right.
straight into this shit. They've co-opted this guy as the scriptwriter, and we're going into hermaphroditic, no vagina, no shitting, pregnant future Mulder. Later in the story, the slave trader talks to Mulder, and he explains... Mulder finally comes to accept the fact that it's the year 2402, and the alien war has come, and he missed the whole thing because he was knocked out.
What a bummer for him.
Yeah, I know, and he misses his... He doesn't say anything about missing Scully, but he really, really misses the director of the FBI, whose name I can't remember right now. Skinner. He really misses Skinner. And Sigolf, the slave trader, tells him how hermaphrodites have this sex drive inside of them, and it's going to take about 10 days to kick in for him because he's been in cryostasis. But when it does, it's going to come in, and just this completely insatiable sex drive. He's not going to be able to stop having sex with anything for any reason. It's all he's ever going to think about, ever. And Mulder says, well, Skinner always did say that I was a total slut. So apparently in this universe, not only did all this shit take place 400 years in the future, but in the present time, I'm using quotes, Mulder also had a gay relationship going on with Skinner.
Wow.
And they talk about how these hermaphrodites have this all-encompassing need for sex, but it doesn't actually get to it. There's a point where he starts to rub up on one of the caravan guards, and that's where the first part ends, with no actual penetration, no actual anything like that.
Disappointment.
And after 25,000 words, you know the greatest tragedy? What? There's no part 2. It was never published. It stops after part 1. He does he or she does all of this world building. So much world building, setting up all these rules for hermaphrodites, and it mentions how the aliens rerouted all of their parts to make it so that they could be these beautiful sex creatures who wanted nothing but sex, and that's what the aliens wanted them for, and that's why they're made. And he did all of this stuff, came up with all of this lore, and then just bang, done.
When was it last updated?
Years and years and years and years
really?
and years
It's
ago.
not
Yep.
even. Oh, that's
no, it's not
I'm
new.
really curious.
I think the last update on Mulder and Peril, or Mulder, whatever it was, .org, was in like 2006 or something like that. It's been a long, long time.
But someone's still paying for that web address.
Apparently, yeah. Someone is still paying for that .org.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm sad.
That it doesn't continue?
Yeah,
I know, I am too. I really would like to see where that was going to go. I mean, we could probably guess pretty well where it was going to go.
I was really curious why they were making such obvious reference to whether or not hermaphrodites would take a crap, and I was wondering why. But now I understand, because they had to make it clear
because otherwise that shit would be gross.
Right, now I understand that is because their butts for reproducing. Got it. They've solved the MPreg problem.
There you go. Yeah, see, this guy, man, he's really ahead of his time, I guess. It's really a shame we never got part 2.
What a disappointment.
Yeah.
Alright, I have a fourth one because I had a lot of lackluster fanfiction that I just couldn't decide between. This is the sexiest one I have.
Ooh.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this one's called Arpeggio by Wild Wing Suze. And I found this one on fanfiction.net. No, I didn't. I lied to you. I found it on Archive of Our Own. It's a threesome between Mulder, Scully, and Scully's old college boyfriend. It's pretty straightforward stuff. Like, 3 people doing it. Basically, it's from Mulder's point of view. And basically, apparently, he and Scully are in a relationship, and like he at some point, like offhandedly, mentioned that he would be interested in a threesome, this wasn't quite what he meant. Like
that's what I was going to say. He didn't specify.
He had envisioned another lady with them, and when she was like, really? I've also always wanted to try that. And he was like, okay, cool. And then he came home and there was a strange man in his bedroom.
That also seems very un-Mulder-like to me. He would have been very specific with that request, I believe.
So, he was rather short, stocky, and swarthy, with a good bit more body hair than I had. Straight jet black hair, cut short, and dark tilted almond eyes that hinted at oriental blood.
Jesus. Christ almighty. This was apparently written by our grandfathers.
He was easily in as good of shape as Scully and I, and seeing the two of them standing there naked did begin to get me aroused again. Earlier in the story, he had been aroused because he knew that he was coming home to a threesome. And then he saw the dude standing there and became slightly less aroused. But now he's
But now womp?
Yeah, exactly. That's...
I made some really hilarious hand gestures that you all at home can't see, by the way.
You can probably imagine them, though. I took a long drink, feeling the alcohol spread through my body with a warm glow which matched that of the candles scattered around the room. They lit the scene sufficiently with flickering light. That's good.
That's what I'm looking for in my sex is sufficiency.
It's sufficient. So, Mulder's, gulping some wine, clearly uncomfortable. And the dude, whose name I can't remember... says...
Stockson.
But so Mulder is like, is it cool if, you and I don't touch at all? And, he's, kind of weirded out by some other dude touching on Scully, but, he's willing to give it a try. And the dude says, if it helps any, Mr. Mulder, I'm in a committed gay relationship at the moment. Clearly not that committed.
Nor... I don't know how that would be helpful in any way, shape, or form.
So, I don't know. Maybe I misunderstand the definition of committed, but... so, they're
committed to having sex with other men.
People, right, yeah. I guess that's fair. So, he's like, what do we do? Do you start or do I start? And they were like, let's just play it cool. Let's get... So, they ease into it. The dude starts... doing mouth stuff to Scully, and there's a lot of talk of
you can use the real word
and slick sounds, and it's super gross. As I watched while sucking at her nipples, he moved one hand off of her stomach, and within moments she was crying out and bucking her hips almost desperately. I realized by the wet sounds that he was finger fucking her, and that did it. I was fully hard and straining against the limiting constraints of flesh. Then I felt Scully's breasts swell, her nipples getting even tighter as she gasped and then cried out wordlessly, her back arching off the bed. Knowing she'd come made me even more aroused. I am a lady. And I have to say, I've never noticed my breasts swelling at the moment of climax. I did a little bit of Google research, and I was unable to find any evidence of this.
I'd say you're doing it wrong.
I am not sure that this person has ever seen a human female.
The whole physics involved seem kind of... I don't understand. Can you... can I ask you to go back again and read about the straining against the constraints of human flesh? Yes. What was that?
I realized by the wet sounds that he was finger fucking her, and that did it. I was fully hard and straining against the limiting constraints of flesh. So, I guess he's so hard, he feels like his
boner feels like it should be more bonery?
I guess so.
Okay, that makes more sense than what I got at first.
He's harder than he's ever been before.
Okay.
So hard, that his skin may burst apart. Which is really gross.
Not to say that isn't gross, but that makes more sense than it made on first pass to me. All right, I got it now.
So then, dude whose name I can't remember, Armand. Dude's name is Armand. The Oriental guy. God.
Never thought I would hear those words come out of your mouth.
I'm like, seriously, fanfiction writer? Who are you? Like, who is this dude? I'm assuming this is a dude for some reason.
Our grandpa, I told you.
All our grandfathers.
Yeah, all our grandpas together. No one else refers to Asian people as Orientals anymore.
Sorry. Okay. So, Mulder moves in, starts, like, doing her proper, like, but then he feels real close to coming, so he pulls out, and he starts to get in there with his hands, because he didn't want this to be over really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I begin to finger fuck her a little harder and faster. Not yet we're not. She said that they're driving her crazy in a sexy way, not like, knock it off, you guys.
Not like a Britney Spears song.
No. Ugh. Not yet we're not, I said, looking down as I rotated my wrist as it went in and out of her. She was so wet that her juices were already spread halfway across my hand, and the damp sounds of what I was doing to her, along with the strong scent of her arousal, was keeping me at my own peak. God, Scully, I have never seen you so wet before. Just wanted to get the fluids in there, you know how they're...
I know how you feel about fluids.
Armand got up on his knees and moved between hers, then lifted them over his arms so that she was nearly bent in half. This is something that has always driven me nuts about sexy writing, is like, you kind of have to like draw a diagram, like now they're
trying to picture it in my head.
Yeah, like so she's kind of sitting up and he comes between her legs and like, you know, hauls her shoulders over his arms, so she's still sitting up but her legs are all like up also. Are you with me?
Okay, yeah, alright, I got you.
Oh, you remembered, she gasped as he slid into her wet body. Turning to me, she breathed, this was always my favorite position with him, although I love ours. What's yours, Armand asked, bottoming out and pausing for a moment, looking down at us both. Sitting face to face, I answered, usually with me on the edge of the bed, but sometimes back against the headboard. Who's having this conversation? This was like the most bizarre.
As a man who's never had a threesome with another man, maybe that's just par for the course, and I don't know the... Yeah.
I don't know. That was weird. So, you know, basically, she lets each of the dudes finish inside of her. They do it again, and, you know, he asks for a washcloth because he, you know, was jerking it while she and Mulder went to town, and he made a mess of himself. And so, then, you know, they all fall asleep, and in the morning they have breakfast together, and then the dude leaves, and that's the end. I don't know. Like...
That is a conversation that they had there. Again, maybe that is the way that sort of thing goes down.
I just kind of picture them all, like, stopping, like, oh yeah, what do you like? Like, that's a good position. I like ours better, but this is pretty okay. Like,
let's make an online poll and ask all of our friends on Facebook what they think.
Oh God, no. My family lives there. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I picked this one because it was easily, like, the sexiest one I found. And, like...
Yeah, I'm super turned on right now, let me tell you.
I mean, like, I don't know. I can see how this could be sexy if this was something that you were into.
Yeah, I guess.
But, I mean...
But again, there's not... I mean, I hate to keep harping on this, but it doesn't seem very X-Files-y to me.
No, not at all, no.
Like, at least...
This could easily just be some lady and her boyfriend inviting a man into their bed.
Right.
Easily. I mean, the dude's not a werewolf or anything.
Well, maybe he is, and we don't know. You're saying that Asians can't be werewolves? Because that's pretty racist of you.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I mean, personally, the subtle racism in the first, like, 2 paragraphs really threw me out of it. But, I don't know, maybe you're into that. So, that's what I got.
That was definitely something.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's the end. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Again, you can find us on Twitter at /andburnpod. You can email us at /andburnpod@gmail.com. There's a Tumblr. By the time you're hearing this, by the time we're recording this, actually, the first episodes have actually finally been published.
Isn't that exciting?
So you can take a look at them, listen to them, review them, rate them,
praise us.
And send us love, send us hate, send us whatever. We're really looking for any sort of interaction at this point. Honestly, just some sort of confirmation that somebody is listening to this.
We had a couple of downloads. We saw them.
We did. We have a number of downloads that is greater than 0.
Yes.
It is also greater than 1, so that's encouraging.
And I think it's great enough that it can't be only people that I have pointedly told to download it.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. So if you're one of those people, thank you very much. If you're coming to this later, then the same still applies. Get at us. Let us know what you think. If you have a suggestion for a topic, we'd love to hear that. If there's something in particular if there's a topic that you think and there's something in particular you want us to go over about that topic, that would also be good to hear.
Heck yeah.
General suggestions would be great. Telling us to fuck off is fine. If you're one of the people who wrote one of these things, by God, please get in contact with us. We'll do a full episode that's nothing but an interview with you because I really want to know your thought process, no matter what one of these things that you've written that we might have discussed.
Again, we hold nothing personal against anybody for whatever you're into. We just really enjoy reading this stuff.
It's a lot of fun to take it all apart in a way that most people probably never thought that their work would be taken apart. But, that was it for episode 4 of Slash and Burn. I was Steve.
And I still am Kira.
Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.